Right, good afternoon or good morning, people and house music lovers. It's not house music stream. We are going to have a look at what crypto is doing. Give it a couple of minutes, see if anyone else wants to join. But it is pre-recorded, and I'll drop the timestamps on after anyway. So us US Open degenerates will jump into the markets and have a look at what is going on. Right then, let's dive in, check some data points. Hope the microphone is clear to everyone. Just give it a little turn up. If not, I'm sure you'll shout me in the chat if it's not. But yeah, let's jump in. Give us a shout if there's anything we need to look at. We'll do the usual first. We'll have a look at Big Dog Bitcoin and ETH and see where they're possibly heading. Little bit of a slow mover obviously on Bitcoin at the minute. It's not actually moved that much since the last time we were live. Still got some levels I would like to look at, to be honest, which would be obviously near that kind of like 48k level, but we'll see what we get. We get what we're given, obviously. So yeah, just give us a shout if everything's okay in the chat. Drop anything I need to look at or I've missed. I've had a quick look across the market today actually, and I'm seeing a little bit of supply overhead on quite a few altcoins. Obviously, yeah, ETH's looking quite big. Bitcoin has got a bit of a defense above it. Just looking at LDO there, Filecoin has got some supply overhead. RNDR is still ripping, but would obviously just prefer another high alert on that one if it was to come. Right, so let's jump into Bitcoin and have a look at the market. Okay, so here we go. Just looking at Bitcoin then. Yeah, coming down a little bit. Mentioned in the video first thing this morning that your daily open here was right outside of value areas. If anyone's familiar with trading a range, when you open outside of value areas, more often than not you can start to auction those value area lows again. So just on the Binance spot chart at the minute, we'll jump in and have a look at a few other data points from the other exchanges as well. But yeah, Binance has got some nice levels to look at. Top levels here, 50.5k, 50k. Let's just go and have a look at the OBC. This is to be expected, to be honest. You've got quite a lot of order blocks stacking below. Yeah, I'd still like a wick under 50k to really scare some people, but you know, and then lower the better, to be honest. And I can't take my eyes off this, but I have just seen a little bit of movement here, so I don't know if they're moving orders up or down and wanting to get a fill. So it's something we may see in the next few hours, in the next couple of sessions, to be honest, because this guy or this entity looks like they're moving a couple of orders. So we'll see if they're wanting to fill a little bit higher up or whatever. But yes, still you can see from the OBC there, no real gaps immediately at the minute. Yeah, 53k, still a defense level there, and then you've got order blocks coming all the way down to 49.5 and below as the range up here gets a little bit tighter. Okay, so hopefully we get a little bit of movement in the coming sessions, and let's go look actually while this is coming down a little bit. Let's go check what we're doing on the other exchanges. Let's flip to Bitcoin. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, as you can see, no real bid at the minute. You've got some immediate bid there in the 0 to 1%, okay, but no immediate bid here. Early, only just starting. US guys are only just waking up, finishing breakfast and coming into the market. So it'd be nice to see what kind of US flows we get again. As they have been strong. I know the last couple of days have been strong on the ETF flows again. so that's nice to see. But from our centralized exchanges, nothing to see here really at the minute. You can see Bitfinex have still got that supply overhead that we saw the other day. USDT, Bitfinex have been doing a little bit of selling. I don't trust these guys whatsoever. As you can see, I think we mentioned on the last live, I said I don't trust that wall whatsoever. Bitstamp, nothing again. Coinbase Pro still defending 53k, and they've just dropped a level down here now to 52k. Okay, so something to be aware of. If we get a little bit of a pop up, do they fill more offers and then we rotate down a little bit lower? All right. Kraken want a fill a little bit lower. Not sure which does the bigger volume out of these two actually, USD or USDT on Kraken. I need to look into that. But Kraken are wanting a fill a little bit lower, you know, just sweeps below 50k. That'd be really, really nice. USDT Kraken, they've had offers up high, but they haven't got their fills there yet. Qcoin are wanting fills just around the 50k mark as well. So Binance for your deep cut into 48. I don't think you get that in one clip whatsoever. You know, you're talking about 7-8% away there. Don't think you're going to get that straight away. And then obviously something to note is you've still got nice bands, a little bit dynamic here, but yeah, basically Binance Perps still bid and still looking for a trend or trend continuation if we can get it. All right, let's go and have a look at volume and bits. Right, so 15-minute volume on Bitcoin, a little bit of a reset you've almost had here, and mentioned earlier, it's not looking too bad. If you were to get another drive down, I would be watching the volume to see if it's basically see if you get lack of selling into any drive lower. Below 50k would be a really, really nice zone to then start to create some bull divs, and maybe get that open interest down a little bit as well. All right. So yeah, nice to see that, but no real confirmations yet. And your 1 hour volume is still very, very much down, profit taking. Not a lot to see here, as the retail guys are just going shit long crazy up there, which actually hasn't affected the funding too much. Bybit funding is pretty neutral today at 0.01. I'm sure it's about 0.03 over a 3-day, but yeah, Bybit funding not too bad now. Someone just gives a shout in the chat, will you, if the voice is okay? Otherwise I'm talking shit for the last 15 minutes and I don't know. It seems okay at my side, but someone just gives a shout in the chat if volume is okay. So yeah, 1 hour volume still down, and yeah, as mentioned, I just don't like the open interest hanging up here on that bare volume. That's my only issue up here. Okay, so something to note there. Just watching as it comes down here a little bit. Yeah, cheers Wikipedia. It's a funny one when you start these streams, because my audio looks okay at this side, but then I cut the music and I'm just like, right, okay, is it on? And I'd hate to put this up afterwards with timestamps and no one can hear shit. So cheers for that. So yeah, 1 hour volume, I still don't like it. ETF flows or not, I would still like a little bit lower. And then even just a couple of, maybe you get a 3 drive down here with some nice bull divs, you form some bull divs into these 48, 49k zones. I still think that'd be really, really nice, and I don't mind being a little bit patient for that. Alright, so that's volume. Let's go check liquidity while we're here. Then we'll go and have a look at Vitalik's shitcoin. Yeah, so Perps liquidity pretty high here. Don't really like to see that either while we're hanging around at these kind of higher levels, really, to be honest. This doesn't insinuate direction of price. You can get short squeezes from this as well. It's just the amount of contracts in the books, but generally not the best to see this kind of liquidity like this while you are at highs as retail are going long, as we saw on the volume. Okay, so a lot of contracts coming in the books, could easily get a little flush, but we'll see what kind of flows we get in the US. Okay, Yeah, exactly. And you know what? This range, it's not even that old, to be honest. And these ranges, as you start to trend, will get shorter. As I mentioned on the last live, they will start to get short. If you think you've just come from a bloody 6 week, 7 week range, and now we're not too long into this, but there you go. POC defended at the minute. I think that's around your monthly POC as well, and the weekly open. Okay, so that's defended at the minute. But yeah, it might be quite nice to put in another drive lower down here with some volume bull divs, catch some bid maybe at that 50k level, or just below 50k would be good. Let's go and check the OBC again just quickly. Yeah, okay, so yeah, 57.50, no big gaps. Yeah, you've got an OBC gap there at 49.7. What I mean by that is there's no activity there in the books. Obviously market bid and the like could come in and just start bidding that and fill that up, but these are resting limit orders. You've got a few gaps in the books there, so wicks below 50k could be nice. But yeah, not sure if we get that in one clip. Let's just go check that 15-minute volume again. I mean, if you just look at the range from a 15-minute point of view, yeah, a drive lower with a bull div would be quite nice. That's kind of thing I would wait for, really, and get this open interest just right down again a little bit, like you get in these zones. Okay, so your volume comes down and your volume resets, so people have kind of like really come off the gas. And this was quite a quick one, obviously in the trending market, but the volume really comes off as retail try to just long the shit out of this. Not quite ready, doesn't take much to liquidate them. Open interest drives down a little bit with really low funding. That's kind of your time to get in. And what I'm just seeing at the minute is your open interest just hanging around at the highs. So yeah, another little drive would be quite nice. Let's go and have a look at yeah, it is OI. It's just hanging around up there. And I don't want to say it's I mean, do you call that a nuke if it comes below 50k anyway? I kind of don't, because it's still a trending market, really. But yeah, I mean, look, let's just go back to the OBD. You've certainly got no bid here. So whichever way you cut it, and you know what, if it wasn't for the ETF flows and US market bid coming in their sessions, yeah, I'd be all over this, getting this kind of zone getting filled a lot quicker. But it just seems to be the case that people are very bullish and it's getting market bid, so we're just holding these levels at the minute. So we'll have to see. General depth of book is not amazing here, to be honest. It looks okay, kind of 350, 400 million we've just come from in that European session there, or back end of the Asian session. But it's not amazing, and what I mean by that is if you think about, we just come from $1 billion bid on Bitcoin. Let's just go and take a look at what I'm talking about, because I didn't show you guys this before. So higher time frame stuff, obviously, but the zone there at 38, 39k, we actually order book depth aggregation just tickled $1 billion there. Okay, so that was a bit of a record in our data, to be honest. I say our data, the TRDR guys' data. We've never seen that before. Aggregated depth with perpetuals and spot. The highest we previously saw in there, I would say, was probably 500 or 600 million, something like that. Okay, so pretty good. I quite like this chart. I can share it with anyone if they want it, just for a daily review of open interest, long short ratios, funding rate, obviously, and then just the general depth. It's nice to see for those kind of swing trades, similar to the Liquidity King template. Let's go and have a look at what Vitalik's coin is doing. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a bounce here, but that's to be expected. I don't really like the first half an hour or to an hour in this US session anyway. I mean, even though the ring of the bell doesn't count towards our crypto trading, but you just certainly get these volume kicks in the US session, like mentioned a million times before. So yeah, ETH has got some bid here, but it's not the best I've seen. It could be quite nice. You've got about a 3% risk reward here if you are executing. It's not for me, really. I'm not too interested in this, really. Your bigger top level, okay, 2.5% away. But yeah, you know, it's not big ratios here, is it? Spot bid 30 on the ratio. ETH BTC a little bit better on Bitstamp, but no one's, yeah, I mean, certainly from the books here, no one's really committing to ETH yet. Perps is looking very similar to what Bitcoin did, as in it, you know, it's trending, and that's what you want to see from a trending market, but no real commitment here, and especially at this time of day in this session. ETF had more outflows yesterday. Did it really? Okay, interesting. A little bit. That's interesting then. Yeah, I think I saw. Was it Van Eck? I don't know if Van Eck did more flows than maybe BlackRock one day this week. It will have been after the bank holiday, but that was interesting to see. They're all, obviously, the sales team is selling it hard. So yeah, not a lot. Let's just have a look at volume and stuff on ETH while we're here. Yeah, very similar to Bitcoin. Okay, so if you do put in any more lows, very easy. And I won't bore everyone to death with this, but if you do put any more lows in here, just look for this volume to hold the line, as in weak selling. Look for the funding to go negative, obviously. Watch for a little flushing open eye and liquidations as you get them down here, and then away you go. It'll be the better risk reward. All right, but yeah, ETH getting a little push here. Not the kind of trade I would want though. What's Bitcoin doing right now? Let's just flick back to Bitcoin. Yeah, a little bit of a move on Bitcoin, but I mean, God, fucking hellfire. I mean, excuse my language, but I mean, I mean, 15-minute charts, you've really not moved much all today. This is where we were the other day. Obviously, you wicked the order blocks at the top, wicked the order blocks at the bottom, bounced over, and we're pretty much in this same position. For the patient guys that are waiting for a bigger deviation, I think you'll get rewarded. But despite the lack of bid, we are in a trending market. You've got a few little USDT limit orders popping in here. There's nothing to say you can't just ramp up and go and attack 53 again. Nothing at all. I can't say I've looked at market bid today. I'll have a look a little bit later on. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So ETH, nothing really to see there. RNDR was good. Obviously with the Nvidia, where's RNDR? Can't see it, need your glasses on. RNDR is been brilliant. High lows all the way up, and as it came from that spot bid, what I was just showing in the video earlier was, it was nice to see. This is kind of what you want to see. So once spot have filled their bid, sometimes the Perps guys can be a little bit late to the show. Okay, so they see it moving, and more often than not, spot will fill first, then Perps will come in. And it was nice to see this on Perps yesterday, and that was right on one of the US sessions. Am I on a 15-minute chart? Yeah, right on one of the US sessions. Really nice risk reward in there if anyone caught that on RNDR pre to the Nvidia, because you've got some really nice moves there. Even if you were late to the party and got in there, you got a really nice 20% move up here. And you can just see the levels moving up again. So don't, obviously don't chase these green kind of candles, but quite nice to see that. What else was I looking at on the old multiverse? Yeah, I'm just looking. So ETH's not too bad. We can obviously see Bitcoin's getting covered here. And yeah, I'm just seeing quite a few alts with some supply overhead. Now that's not to say I would start going all in on shorts, especially if the altcoin is low on a daily chart. It's just going to rip that supply apart. Okay, but yeah, interesting. LDO has got some supply overhead. I don't always trust the LDO audiobooks. Audiobooks. You want some music on? Order books, they sometimes are a little bit scammy, and it's nice to see Phil has actually got a big top level on spot. Up at the 7.96 area, so just defending the 8 area after Phil's had a really nice run up. A little bit of confluence there from the Phil BTC chart as well. Okay, have I had any alerts just now? Okay, DOT is getting some bid. That's quite nice from Qcoin. Nice risk reward on DOT. I'm sure that the USDT chart, yeah, DOT's been looking nice. Binance guys filled on DOT there. and it looks like the Q coin guys are just chasing this back up. I'll go to the larger chart in a second. Just want to go through a few alerts. Selling into FET. Okay, ARB getting some alerts. ARB. Okay, what does spot look like on ARB? Nothing to see there. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. But yeah, RNDR. If you look at a higher time frame chart on RNDR, let me just show you this. Okay, that is, I want a spot chart actually. Has it got all the data? Yeah, okay. So RNDR is obviously gonna take it's gonna take these highs anytime soon, isn't it, really? Which is going to be quite nice for it. One thing to note on RNDR, I think it will still just rip. As I said, don't chase candles, but it's looking quite good. Your spot liquidity here is really high, and you can see the open interest is high. But the Perps has got quite a way to go, to be honest. If you see it, how high the Perps were here before it topped out on the 25th of May last year. Okay, so if you've got this template, this is just Liquidity King template. It's really good for kind of like once the coins are really putting in some violent moves. Wait for your extremes in the Perps order books, spot order books, and the open interest. Obviously, open interest is quite high here anyway, but that's kind of to be expected as it's going for those all-time highs. I would just wait for this Perps order book on RNDR to hit those all-time highs as well. Can I show you an example from another coin that's maybe done it recently? Let's have a look. AVAX, yeah, similar to what AVAX did back here. Okay, so just quickly for reference, I won't go too far back, but if you just look at AVAX, what AVAX did here, okay, on the Perps liquidity, spot liquidity is high, open interest high, and then if you see at the end, I mean, I'm sure it's still going to carry on trending, but if you just see what it did here, back on the 24th of December, Merry Christmas everyone, it hit those high in Perps, it hit the highs in spot liquidity, open interest was high and then started to come off, and I'm sure if you wanted to just go to the 24th of December and have a little zoom into the overlays, it was probably getting sold off quite a bit. Okay, and it'll be a similar thing on SALT, so I'll cover this and then we'll go delve into a couple of altcoins and just have a look at what's happening. Come on, Soy Lana. Yeah, so Sol is looks a little bit different. A lot of activity in the books on Sol, more than AVAX. Yeah, a lot of contracts exchanging hands on Sol. But you see what I mean here. You know that spike in liquidity there on the Perps, and spot is still ripping up actually. Interesting to see. Keep an eye on that. Open interest pretty settled here, not too bad. Right, let's go. Let's go see what the big dog is doing. Just a second, chopping about a little bit. Let me go to the overlays and we can have a look at some altcoins. I'm actually, I might be wrong here, as always. Stipulation, as every good trader would say. Oh, it might go up, but it might go down, and it might go sideways. But I'm in the mood for a bit of sideways action on BTC today. I don't think it's going to pull any phenomenal up or down. I think it's more likely to chop this area out, and I actually think these lows are probably going to get taken as well sometime soon. You just see this top level here, so I'm not expecting anything too major from Bitcoin, but while Bitcoin is doing that, it does mean that maybe your altcoins can play. Now again, BTC DOM coming down a little bit, yeah, so watch that. I've not seen anything specifically today, altcoin wise, that would make me want to jump in the market, to be honest. DOT looks quite good, obviously, and I'm sure a few others are doing well. And there's a few coins that I saw earlier really ripping. Spell is putting a massive move, Lit has put in a massive move. And what I did see that was interesting, and you privacy coin degens might be no more, but XMR's obviously been delisted, and I don't know if everyone's moving to ZEC a little bit, maybe, are they? Let me know. But ZEC was an absolute beaut back here yesterday, absolute beaut if anyone was watching that one. Now, its order book has been a little bit scammy in the past. It's obviously trending now. I don't know what was going on up here, but why would you try and bid these highs anyway? But then it came down, and really nice risk reward there actually. What percentage was that if you had a good execution? Yep, 2.5% execution on there, and then it's getting bid again here. Not something I would want to play, to be honest. Not too interested in it. But yeah, we'll see. Just want to watch if it is going to take over a little bit in the future. BTC is saved by Perps all the time. Right now, 2 walls, 57 and 50.6. Let's go and have a quick look at that, because I did see some walls coming in. Yeah, see that. I mean, I wouldn't trust these walls with your money, to be honest. Perps can get used as liquidity. Let me just clean this up. Perps traders can get used as liquidity unless you've got a really large player, and the only thing I don't like, and there's no really big walls here, I don't think. What we're looking at? Yeah, there's nothing massive. Let me go to see the order book changes for Perps. Where is Perps? Ah, it's futures, you noddy. Just a second. Don't like the futures chart. There we go. What we got? Any gaps? Not really. One that, okay, so below 50k again, similar to spot. That's interesting to see if you do get any kind of wick space below 50k. Is 5900 to 49,900 to 49.7. That's very similar to the spot liquidity gap as well. So you could get some market bid coming in there, but these resting orders at the minute, you've got a lack of activity. It's obviously a little bit of a distance away. You'd be talking about coming down into this region and sweeping all the week's lows, which is quite doable. But right at this minute, yeah, there's certainly a little bit of dynamic bidding coming in. And yeah, they've either raised these walls right here and closed these off, and we're going to go and attack the highs again. Let's just go check what spot was doing. Spot looks a bit similar, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. My only issue with this level at the minute is, and obviously these guys could get ripped apart, it's just what we saw earlier, and it's basically Coinbase. And I know some people don't, but I think it's more relevant nowadays. It'd be interesting to see if we can get data in the future on the derivatives, if they start to do more volume, the Coinbase derivatives that have been introduced. That'd be nice. But yeah, when these guys are defending an area, especially when no one else is bidding it, you know, too much, I'm more inclined to say we get a rotation down, but we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see. And even on Perps, your nearest bid is 2.5 to 5% away. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, if the market just starts bidding this up, then obviously it's just going to go, especially on a trending market. All right. What do I need to look at? So dot's looking okay. Fill is hitting some supply. It's actually hitting supply on Qcoin as well. So if anyone's in fill, just keep an eye on that level. Okay. Not saying jump in a short, but you know, if you haven't already on an absolute killer move, could possibly a time just to take a little bit of profit, as you've got two big exchanges doing a little bit of selling, 2.5 to 5% away on fill, and also the fill BTC pair, okay, has just got a little bit of supply and offer a little bit higher up, okay, just going up to that 0.0016. So keep an eye on that. And what else do we need to look at today? I don't know if any. I do quite like the look of Doge still, hence the picture on today. This top level got dropped through. That can sometimes happen. I wasn't watching at the time. I don't know if they pulled that yesterday morning or what, but it's not always spoofing, especially when you see it on spot like this. You can just get it where someone just says, right, I think the market's going to drop lower, I'm going to get better value, and they'll drop the top level and try and get a fill lower. But yeah, I do still think Doge looks good. Not a shill, but I think it looks good. Let's go and have a look at some of the new shiny coins. Something to note, have we looked at LDO? I think we looked at it, didn't we? LDO is getting sold into, and they're dropping their top levels, okay, so someone wants a lower bid on that. LDO is doing a similar thing to what other coins like Sol and the like are doing, and it's probably just going to range consolidate for a little bit, hence this selling. And then yeah, I'm sure it gets some continuation, especially if ETH starts to move. Okay, Link has been getting some spot bid. Has it pulled back sufficiently yet? Yeah, could be ready for another move soon. Consolidation, break up out of the highs. This was its old range, these white lines here. It's certainly coming close to a zone that you would, kind of want to bid again if you were just trading it on derivatives. Maybe just wait for a sweep of lows, but spot bid certainly coming on Link a little bit again. And moving up, what else do we need to look at? LTC is always a nice chart, keep an eye on that. Supply a little bit higher up, but they've moved that now. This fill range has been touched a couple of times already. Probably it's going to break out sooner or later. Fill, I mean, isn't Fill moving strongly already? And has been all week. Let's go and let's do some classic TA and have a look at Fill. Right, if we're talking a range, I do need to go to a 1 hour or 4 hour. Right, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, we're talking like, obviously, yeah, this kind of thing here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I mean, it's obviously been absolutely ripping. And if we just go to a daily chart, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. And this is what I mean. So obviously, we just looked at Fill, and I'm saying there's some supply here. So if you're in derivatives or something, you might want to take a bit of profit. And that's kind of the way I always speak. I'm not talking about spot positions in the slightest. Let me get rid of that. I don't know why I pulled that. I'm just talking about if mainly we're talking like day trades and derivatives, yeah. So you're in the value area high, this range, yeah. So bigger time frame range, yeah. I absolutely think this is going to rip at some point. Okay, it looking great, and it's been here since 23rd of June 22. So yeah, I agree. It probably doesn't pull back much. 6.5 is your value area high there. 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, I don't like where it is, but I could just see it absolutely just going and continuing on. Did it even come back and hit that 6.5? Not yet. Okay, but that'd be an interesting level to watch, unless it just absolutely rips. But yeah, agree. And there's many charts like this, and that's what I said at the beginning is, when you see data like this, supply zones like this, if the chart and the asset is really low on a daily chart, or it's hit that higher time resistance for the third, fourth time, yeah, I absolutely agree. It's probably likely to to fail. You could get a rotation down here now, but I've got no doubt that this, even if it just ranges here for a while, it's going to absolutely rip. And there are many other such coins. I'm interested to see what a couple of the other new shiny coins are doing. Wild is absolutely ripping, and it's a really nice chart as well, this one. You see the overlays here. Okay, so keep an eye on Wild, get it in your alerts, get some alt diamond and top levels alerts in there, and some spot alt double bands as well, okay, because Wild is a really nice coin. What's Woo doing? I see everyone's shilling Woo on Twitter, and I've never really looked at the exchange, to be honest. Maybe I'm missing out there. Say, what is Say doing? Say is in supply, no real edge there. That's TUSD. Okay, so Say is getting some bid, and it's similar to, I think we looked at this one the other day as well. So down to this 80 level might be quite nice. It looks like spot guys are filling down here in this 80 zone on Say. Sue, no real edge there. I do like to look at STX when Bitcoin is moving, because STX moves really well with Bitcoin as well. It looks like it's doing a bit of a consolidation up here, so draw a fixed range, get you you really want to get in these lows here. Have we looked at Sol? Let's have a look at Sol. Perps traders are loving Sol, but there's actually no spot bid on Sol here whatsoever. And you notice, I mean, this is higher up from the other day, but you notice these top levels moving down to meet price. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, it's probably going to be an elongated consolidation and range here for Sol. We won't pull that range again. We looked at that the other day as well. TIA, let me go and have a look at TIA. It's new to the charts. Still chopping this zone up. Spot filled a little bit there in that 17 zone that we looked at the other day, and then they've just swiped a little bit lower, but it seems to want to hold this area, Not bad. Keep an eye on TIA, because I know that's one that moves really well as well. Rune is yeah, exactly similar to Sol and the others as well. So Rune's obviously been performing really well over the last few months, but nothing to show here. Interested to see some of the other exchange or DEX coins. Uni, good one there. Okay, what is DYDX doing? Is DYDX doing much volume at the minute? Let's go and have a look. Spot chart. Nothing to see. This is what I mean about some of the coins at the minute. It could be a slow couple of days. On you're really gonna have to pick the assets you want to jump in at the minute, because yeah, on a lot of the altcoins you've got a little bit of supply above and then bid waiting lower. So don't jump into any of these expecting rocket ship straight up, because a lot of these coins that have moved and trended already, your Sols, your AVAX and stuff, not to repeat what we've already gone over, they're probably going to consolidate for a while longer, you know. So what is, I just saw, what was that? Was that dusk moving? No, rubbish, absolute rubbish. No, okay. 1 inch RV used to be brilliant. Well, I'm talking about DeFi Summer, but RV was absolutely brilliant to trade in DeFi Summer. Had a few alerts on ARB, haven't we? So let's have a look at that. Yeah, nothing to see there. Ape had a really good move the other day. Big rip up. Let me just have a look at the spot chart on Ape. Yeah, higher lows, away you go. Bitcoin making a move. Let's see what it does here in the next few minutes. While Bitcoin's doing that, if you do have any console questions, just give me a shout and we can go over it now quickly while we've got a little bit of time. As I said, I don't think Bitcoin's going to do too much. We'll work this stream on for too long today. But yeah, if you've got any console related questions, just give me a shout now. Just drop it in the chat. Chilies, let's have a look at Chilies. Chili dogs. Chili's pumped the other day, didn't it? Yeah, okay, it's coming down now, isn't it? Ooh. Yeah, do you know what this looks like? This looks like you're about to get a resistance. Okay, supply, resistance. And this is my guesstimate at the minute. We'll go and have a look at a higher time frame chart, because we all love classic tier, don't we? But this, even just on a 15-minute chart, this looks like you are about to get a resistance to support flip. Alright, let's have a look. God, that was a nice one there. That was spot as well. If you get a spot chart like that, don't mess. I think we could have been, we might have been live on the Discord when we did that one. Yeah, what was it last week? We were looking at Chili's and I said, oh, it looks really good. I'd love to say, I'd have to go back and have a look. Anyway, yeah, so let's have a look. What's volume doing? Volume open interest quite high. Yeah, let it come down to these levels. So with these levels in mind, so let's call it down to 0.12. 0.012. Let's have a look at Chili's, and then we'll drop back to BTC and have a quick look at the diamond. Yeah, for sure. We haven't had a diamond in for a while. Last ones we had were really good. We'll have a look at Chili's, then we'll drop back to BTC and see what's going on. But yeah, so let's just quickly go to a higher time frame chart on, and I mean higher time frame chart. Yeah, nice. Okay, so don't obviously chase this. Wait for it to maybe, you've got, yeah, so you look like you're at resistance, but if you remember the chart we just looked at, the overlay, it looks like then that support's going to come in and hold price up for another run. Yeah, that absolutely, obviously it's been down only forever, so this could be in for a nice move. Well spotted, whoever spotted that. Greta S, well played. This is a really nice chart. Really nice chart. Do like this. You could pull that to back there, couldn't you? I've got H&A candles on because I'm a pleb like that, but let's just pull that there. Yeah, really nice, really nice. I don't know if I've got these fibs on reverse. I don't really care, but let's have a look. Yeah, okay, let's pull a range from, just say, that previous high, and that's your value area high at the 382. Okay, so mark these levels off if you're a nerd like me. So you're coming up to some highs again now, and that's where, you know, you might get a little bit more supply, but generally an altcoin will just start ripping now and probably go right up to the 0.5, which is at 174-ish. Yeah, looks really good. Okay, so if it hasn't back tested this already, this zone, let's go back to what am I on there, a daily chart. Right, so if we say that, I don't like trend lines, I've probably said that before, but if we say that trend line is your back test, has it back tested it already? Questionable, but you could almost say it's back tested there and then it's going. Right, okay, that's fine. So if that was your back test, let's just be a nerd and drop a fib here for that, if that's your back test. So you could come back, and yeah, this is what I would like, so bear this in mind. So you've got 0.125 there and 0.122 on the old fibbers. Then if you go and look at your OBD, where do your levels come in? Right here. Okay, so wait for these guys to fill, make these guys fill, and then I would say your invalidation, not financial advice, do your own research, and it's for entertainment purposes only. You want to execute in here, don't you, as close as possible, but you might not even get that low, so you kind of need to be watching it at the time, you know. You may not even get this low, you might not even cut this low, but that's going to be a really good invalidation. What's BTC doing? Okay, BTC still chopping, but so you imagine, let's play out a scenario. You imagine BTC comes down to 49, it wicks below 50. This is going to give you then a really nice entry on Chili's in a support, you know, in a resistance support flip. I would be looking in that zone. Really nice. If these guys want a bid, make them bid it, you know. Okay, yeah, it looks good, that. I do like it. Yeah, it looks really good. Can you please give a quick walkthrough on how you would scalp BTC on Perps in this kind of range? Right, without BTC Diamond alerts. I have to be absolutely honest, I'm not really a scalper in the slightest. I'm kind of more chilled on my trades and patient. I do, you know, obviously look at day trades. But with that, I'm still talking about, you know, you might hold that for an hour, 2 hours, you know, 24 hours on derivatives. I'm not a scalper as if you know, if you're talking 5-minute, 10-minute time frames, that's not really for me. I'm sure there's other guys in the socials that do scalp. If you were, yeah, I mean, just obviously wait for these top levels, wait for pre-US session, because that's when your volatility starts to kick, and have a look at your, I would say have a look at the OBC as well, because that gives nice reactions. Scalp 4 to 6 hour, alright, I call that kind of a day trade really. Yeah, I mean, just look at your top levels, use your top levels in validation, and obviously just appreciate that Bitcoin's a little bit of a slower mover, but you can use the OBC as well and wait for these order blocks to fill. So you can either wait for the order blocks to fill or wait for these gaps which create wick space. Alright, so basically wait for these OBC areas, these gaps that can create wick space. If price then doesn't carry on, what you can get is like reversions back to then go fill the order blocks lower. That's kind of how I would play it. But for me, I know a lot of people do play Bitcoin lower time frame, but for me, I think, and I've said this for a number of years, really, last 2 or 3 years. I think with Bitcoin, you can easily get away with 1 or 2 trades a week, and sometimes less, to be honest. And I do believe that. Maybe I'm a little bit relaxed on that, but yeah, I do believe that. You could wait for your liquidations as well, which gives you mean reversions. So if you haven't got them already, I can share them in the socials, but basically get your, and this is why I'm kind of patient really, because I always think the best trades on the larger assets, you know, so imagine Bitcoin sits still, and Bitcoin could sit still for the next, you know, 2-3 hour, or, you know, 4-hour candles, so it could sit still for 8-12 hours, couldn't it? In that time, really, preference would be to day trade alts that look good if you think Bitcoin is just holding the line, you know, because you're going to get a couple more percent moves out of the alts if you're just talking derivatives. Now obviously I understand people will want to trade Bitcoin a little bit more, especially if you are trading with size, but yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just a little bit more patient on Bitcoin. But get these alerts in, all right? So liquidations, get your liquidations alerts in, because, you know, sometimes, more often than not, you can just get what's called a liquidation bounce, okay? So get your liquidations in, get your diamond in, obviously, but they are a little bit rare at the minute, but do give you good entry, and get your group spotting, and the same on ETH, get your ETH liquidations in, and get your ETH diamond and group spot. And then when you hit these liquidation points, just have a look at your top levels, have a look at your OBD. You know, if you get a liquidation run that, you know, say you get a liquidation run to the downside, you've liquidated a load of early longs while you're establishing some bull divs, and you've got bid there, cherry on the cake being if you get a BTC diamond, obviously. Those are the really, really nice ones, to be honest. The really, really nice plays. And the same on ETH. But yeah, for me, it would always be alts. If you were just talking derivatives, day trades, you're just going to get a couple more percent out of them. You know, for me in here, Bitcoin hasn't moved in absolutely ages. I prefer, this was obviously nice because when we were on the live the other day, we got this, didn't we? And so previous to the live, I produced a video and said, don't, you know, we're in the European session here when I did the video, and I said, don't do anything until you've hit one of these order blocks, and it's either going to be this one or this one. And you could see it on the trade view chart, but also you could see it on the OBC. Okay, so the OBC had order blocks here and OBC gaps. All right, so previous to US session came up, we hit that zone and got an immediate reversion down. Then obviously I don't think the bid was massive here, but it was probably just market bid. But then you came back down, hit the downside order blocks, the downside OBC, and got that reversion up. And yeah, what I'm talking about is just these again. So when we were looking at the video on Tuesday here, it was a case of what have we got above us if we float up, where could we possibly go, what have we got below us if we go down first, because obviously being in that European session there, just diddling in the middle, there's no edge right there really. You know, you can see it's obviously moved up a couple of percent, but I kind of don't care about that move up. I'd rather just, you know, trade on the outside, you know, trade on the outer edges, don't trade in the middle of the price action if you can, and trade with volume, don't trade with lacking volume, trade with a bigger volume like the US session and the Asian session really. But yeah, Bitcoin, pretty chilled on Bitcoin. The last alert we had, another one, actually, if you wanted to get it in, the last alert we actually had, I can share this as well in the socials if you did want it, was actually this BTC Perps, and it was basically signifying that Perps traders were coming out of trades and possibly hedging a little bit of a position. I didn't actually look at what the LS ratio was doing to see which one it was, but in here, and I might change this actually, I might add a couple more exchanges in, okay, but I've just got BitMEX and Binance in here at the minute. BitMEX might be a little bit more less relevant at the minute, but this is a grouped just Perps alert, okay, and it just tells me that, you know, Perps are coming out of position and possibly hedging a slight short. And that was actually where was it? I'm sure it was up here. Let me get, oh, it was right there, I just can't even see it. It was right there. I'll prove it to you. Just a minute. It's because I've got it on a transparency. There you go. So that was your last alert on Perps, and you can see it was a really, really nice one. So yeah, you don't always have to wait for a diamond. You can see it printed an overlay there on a 15-minute candle, and you got a Perps sell. Sometimes the Perps sell side, I actually believe, and this goes for alts as well sometimes, can be better than the long side, can be a lot better than the long side sometimes. And as mentioned before, it generally comes from the fact that a lot of people are sometimes a lot of people are just overly bullish in crypto, obviously, and especially in a trending market. But yeah, Perps sell alert, yeah, it was a nice one. It was a nice one, right at the highs there as well. So yeah, you could wait for that one as well. But yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of one I've mentioned before is if you trade in derivatives, and again, it's not advice, but what was I looking at before? Was it STX? If STX moves nicely with Bitcoin, basically, so you know, have those coins that you think will move nice if Bitcoin sat still. Have an asset that you think will move nice if Bitcoin's going to move. You know, not all of them run with Bitcoin. And have those assets that are going to move nice that you maybe want to hedge your position. So maybe you've got your long in BTC, because obviously I would like to hope you're all long anyway. If you're holding spot, you are long BTC. But if you've got a long derivatives trade on BTC as well, you know, maybe look at something like this. Maybe look at LDO and maybe just hedge a little bit of a short position. You know, BTC's going up. Sometimes the alts will drop on their own merit. You know, it doesn't have to be the case that the full market always goes in one direction. You can actually see that from today's market. Anyway, you've got a real mixed bag today. Look at this. It's probably 50-50 just going along the market there, you know. Green and reds going on there. Yeah, not a bad day. So yeah, few top levels capping Bitcoin here on Coinbase Pro and yeah, Binance and Coinbase Pro. Similar levels. It's interesting to see. So yeah, a little bit of a slow mover. Not a lot to see. I'd still like a little bit of a rotation lower. But do we get this 50k zone defended? Obviously you can see here someone's just moving their order up on spot at the minute. Well, they've either pulled that, I wasn't watching at the time, but they've either pulled that or moved it up here a little bit. So that's interesting to see. We're either going to start defending this zone and just start wicking some lows, and then you're just going to get a big continuation up on you know, a lesser range, or if we start to auction a little bit lower in a trending market still, you probably will still get continuation, but then it will maybe just take a little bit longer. Okay, so yeah, we'll call it a day in a second. I've been chatting shit for nearly an hour, so if you've got any questions or anything I've missed, just drop it in the chat now. Just have a look what funding's doing. Let's have a look at what volume's doing. Not too much edge on volume at the minute. Open interest on lower time frames pretty chilled. Funding is pretty chilled lower time frame as well. It's just a case of do retail and smaller traders get a little bit frothy here and start to go all in, and we need to just wipe them out a little bit in the lows again. Remains to be seen. Let me just quickly check my alerts then before we log off, unless there's any questions. Again, just drop your questions if you've got them. Yeah, DOT's looking okay. What's it looking like on spot? I'm just getting a few alerts on DOT. No real edge there. What's ETH doing? Is it getting ETH ETF firmer and it wants to move up? No, doing a similar thing to Bitcoin there, isn't it? Yeah, and like I mentioned straight away earlier on, you know, like it's nice to see that wick into this demand zone here with a couple of top levels, but I'd prefer to see that. What time of day was that? It was pre-US session. Yeah, not bad. I'd prefer to see that tested a little bit longer. And you know, generally these are quite dynamic levels. They've filled a little bit there. There was one here, and then they've pushed up a little bit. So it's nice to see these levels push up on ETH. But I'd like to see them filled and tested to say that area at 2860ish is going to hold, you know. So yeah, we'll see what we get. No real bid from the central exchanges then on Bitcoin. Let's see what kind of flows we get in the coming hours. I'd still prefer a little bit lower. just because of the higher time frame, volume and open interest, but that doesn't mean to say we can't just flick up and tap some of these zones in the intermediate. Alright guys, so yeah, if there's no more questions, we'll call it a day there. We'll be around in the TRDR socials. If you do want any of these templates or alerts sharing, so basically templates just quickly, and if you are new to the console, just hit the link in the description, because it's, yeah, you really, you know, you need to be on here really. You'll get a free trial and everything. Yeah, so just basically search my name. These are the ones I'm sharing here. That's not working ones, that's not sharing there, but yeah, just search my name and use any of the templates. If you want any of those alerts, just screenshot that now. If you want any alerts, just hit me up and I'll drop a link for you. I won't drop links obviously in the YouTube chat because it's just going to make a mess of it. Alright, so just hit me up on the socials if you do want any alerts, and we can share them. Alright guys, we'll call it a day there. Hope it's been useful to people, I really do. That's all we want really. It's nice just to share a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of data, raw data from the TRDR console. None of this momentum shit that you see from a lot of people naming no names. But yeah, hope it's useful to people. If it is, just give it a share, will you? Spread the word about this console and the data and the absolute alpha it provides. Alright guys, I hope you have a really good day and rest of the week, and I'll be around in the socials. Cheers, speak soon.